ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins and bless up to the world.
And then Tay just put your info on blast like that.
It's what the people want to know, bro. My bad.
Nah, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it. It is the morning shake with me, your host Xavier Hendricks, and we still got people busy talking while we going live. Look, your hairstyle there makes me feel some type of way about these headphones, but YOLO. It's gonna be so flat here. Yeah, bruh.
Start to Alice band.
YOLO.
Don't worry, baby, you're still loved. You're still loved.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it is the morning shake with me, your host Xavier Hendricks, and of course my co-host Mr. J Paris. What's happening, my brother?
Yeah. Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins and bless up to the world. It's your boy J Paris, and once again we're coming to you live on this beautiful Monday morning from Johannesburg, South Africa. It's the morning shake powered by the Inside Show, and it's the number one podcast in the world. What's good?
Nah, so here's the thing though.
Where's the beat though, bro? I wanted to spit some bars.
Nah, bro, they're gonna ban us. What's that thing? They say the section is muted because YouTube. Hey, you guys are you all are becoming a little bit out of hand now with us claims. Hoor. Just see everything wordt geclaimed. A picture here on the screen wordt nog geclaimed. Anyways, we also have our other co-host. We mix and match the shows like this. So we got someone from the Friday show, we got someone from the Wednesday warm up, from the Gap Fest and the Wednesday warm up. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. She needs no introduction on these shows. She's always hopping on the Andra Boys and
Yo! Seeing that we're doing this thing of Happy Spring Day, Happy Spring Sunday, it's Happy Spring Monday. Because it's the first Monday.
Some of the whole September is Happy Spring
Happy Spring
Just
every day.
Yeah, Happy Spring Day
the
today.
weekend will be Happy Spring Weekend also.
Yeah. So it's a Monday morning and we are having this again a heavy. I wanted to say top heavy, but that would be inappropriate for the conversation that we're about to have.
Yeah.
How do you like it? But okay. That's me. I'm Lee, and I'm so grateful to be here once again to cause raras.
Yeah, let's cause some trouble. And of course I had to call in my wife.
Hey.
Yeah, you
Because
see.
I'm extremely passionate about this.
Yeah, we have to call in the wife, so that we can hear now. And like, what is cheating?
Yeah, we must make sure to keep you in check. Yeah. because,
Ladies and gentlemen, Anka Hendricks.
Pew, 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 pew.
You
Yeah.
must now say something.
Say something. What's your
No, like
That's a cue.
I thought I already said something, but we're excited for this topic. I think it's something that is just it goes under the radar, and people are like, no, I wasn't, I didn't mean to, but Kanti, you did. So I think it's important to clear up some things there.
Okay, I gotta stand for this one and I gotta take my jacket off.
Yo.
Talk that talk.
Wow.
Popeye's got his
Spit those
muscles up.
bars.
Let me set the scene for you,
Okay.
right?
Spit those
Let me
bars.
set the scene for
Dim
you.
the lights.
Facts.
So there's a pastor, his name is Matt Chandler, right? He runs a church called the Village Church. He's the lead pastor at that church. He has a board, he has everything going there. He also is on the top of the board of a movement called X movement, right? I think
X29.
It's X29, yeah. X29, which is a church planting movement that goes out, plants churches, right? So last week, it hits the news that he comes out and he addresses his congregation, right? Mm-hmm. And so I go on, there's this one YouTuber, shout out to Ruslan, I watch him quite often, and I think that was the first time I saw the news kind of being broken. And so he goes and he addresses the congregation, right? And so the story goes as such. One day he's leaving church, and as he's leaving the building, a lady approaches him and says, listen, I'm not appreciating the conversation you're having with my friend. And he's like, what?
Snitch! First and foremost.
Wow, Jay.
And he's like,
Nah, that will not get your hood cred.
nah, bro.
Nah, I'm only tripping, bro. Go
So
on.
he's like, so this lady, I think it was probably out the foyer, busy leaving the church. Pastor, can I have a word with you? Yes, what's wrong? Listen, I don't appreciate the conversation you're having with my friend. What friend? What conversation? No, the lady's name is whoever, and she's my friend, and I saw the DMs. You've been all up in the DMs.
Sliding.
And so he's like, hold on. There's nothing sketchy going on. I didn't say anything, that is in
Romantic or
that,
sexual.
anything romantic, anything that leans towards the sexual nature or whatever. We were
Sexual
just
nature.
speaking, right? And so the homie then feels convicted. He feels like, oh snap! Now I'm feeling like I did something wrong. So he goes to his board of directors, right? His elders and whatever else. He goes to the elders. He's like, guys, listen. I was confronted now, and I'm now feeling like I did something wrong. Here's my phone. Here's the DMs. Here's everything. Make copies. Do whatever you gotta do. You guys have your meeting. Let me know if I did something wrong. Goes to his wife. He says, baby, listen. Here's the DMs. Here's everything. Everyone look at this thing. Let me know if I did something wrong. The elders then return, and the elders say to him, look, you didn't necessarily do anything. You didn't say anything that was,
Incriminating.
that was leaning towards a sexual nature. You didn't say anything that gave the vibes that you were trying to make moves. But there's two challenges we got. Challenge number 1, frequency. Challenge number 2, familiarity. Those are the two big challenges. So those words you gotta kind of keep there when you're asking yourself what constitutes cheating. When does it become a little bit out of hand now? So he then comes up and he approaches the congregation and he says, guys, everybody, this is what happened. This is the situation. Please read the statement that he gave the congregation.
Oh yeah, and then obviously he comes out to say, I'm embarrassed. I feel stupid. I feel dumb. I feel like I'm embarrassing my wife and kids, putting a ton of pressure on our staff. I feel like I've fallen short.
So, here's the thing. He comes out saying this. There's mixed feelings because, ladies and gentlemen, I want to throw this into the pack somewhere here early in the beginning so that we can pull it apart, right? This is not the same thing John Gray did. John Gray actually was cheating. He was like being slimy about it. He was like dodging his wife. He was like being sketchy about it, right? Carl Lenz, he was also cheating. He was like catching vibes, like full-on vibes, like being sketchy about it. And he was caught. So there's some differences going on here. Brian Houston, his story is also kind of neither here nor there. The lady says nothing happened. He says nothing happened, but he stepped down anyway. So there's big discrepancies and there's big differences among these stories. Number one, John Gray and Carl Lenz were caught, right? Matt Chandler actually went to go and say, guys, this is the situation. You tell me if I'm wrong, right? So that's a big difference. He didn't try to hide it. He didn't try to cover it up.
Played his cards
he
open.
played it open and he said, here's the thing. What do you guys think, right? So I'm going to toss the question into the air and then we can start ripping it apart. In the season that we're living in, with DMs, with social media, with WhatsApp, with Instagram, with everything, thirst traps are all over the place and it's easy for someone to get caught in a thirst trap. How do you navigate your world, and at which point does it just get now to the place where it's out of hand? Jay, jump in there, bro, and then move. And then everyone just jump in.
Yeah,
just
everyone
Are
go
we
for
ready
it to
for you,
come.
Jay?
Nah. I think.
And wait, before you go, everyone online, please do drop in the comments. We're definitely gonna read. We see Juan Won is already on number one subscriber and number one fan of the show. Thank you so much for hopping on. Of all the shows you're on, every morning you hop on the shows. So if you are in the comment section, do drop what you believe. When does this thing become problematic? When is it cheating? Is there a gray area? How do you feel about
Excuse
it?
the pun.
Oh wow. How do you feel about it? And then obviously while we jumping in, even if you drop your
The
comment and we
problem
don't
is
mention
his
it,
surname is Gray. It's
Yeah.
just a Gray.
It's a
Christian
grey area.
Gray.
It's a
John
John
Gray. The Gray area.
A shame, guys. Let's not crucify the guy for that. No.
Yeah.
so
Crucifying him, we just
I just
say.
want to say, drop your comment, and if we don't read it, we definitely getting to it. So sometimes the convo will be going, but at some point we'll say, okay, whoa, let's see what's happening in the comments, and then we'll get to your comments. So don't feel like we didn't read it. We definitely gonna read it. Definitely. Go, bro.
Yeah, I think it's strange, bro, that he doesn't even know whether he's right or wrong. Bear in mind, also, I don't think you mentioned that he did say that her husband knew that they were chatting, and his wife also knew that they were chatting and so forth. But the fact that he doesn't even know if it's right or wrong, bro, that like baffles me. The fact that he had to obviously go to his elders and so forth. But for me, bro, first and foremost, my wife is my biggest blessing, like biggest blessing, and that there for me is a no. And yes, I do understand for different marriages, there's different boundaries and so forth on, broski. But for me personally, I mean, I'm so speaking about the fact of what liking Offset is cool too. No,
okay.
we talking.
Yeah, we're
like
talking.
liking is cool and so forth on. But I'm sure that's probably
So,
your boundary. Anything after that is
Look.
like what are y'all doing in the DMs?
Yeah.
What was the situation at first? What was
Yeah,
was
was
that
it
lady?
counseling?
Yeah, was it
I don't know.
counseling?
They're not
But
saying.
even
But
that,
regardless-
even that is wrong. Even the counseling from her being a married woman to him being a married man, that's wrong. That's why the church has a structure in place. So you as a couple, you approach the counseling pastor. You that wasn't counseling. If
That's not counseling at
If
all.
you're talking, what I meant by him liking pictures was like he's scrolling through. He's got friends or people he knows in church, and it's a nice picture, and he likes it. I mean, that's what social media is for. But if we're going to be saying like it's a questionable picture, then I'm like, why are we liking a questionable picture? Maybe she's trying to be body conscious. She's very conscious and confident and whatnot, and it's
Body
just
positivity.
body positivity. And we all know that's just a
It's just
a
the
facade.
excuse to show your
so,
stuff.
and you're liking that, then I'm questioning, why are we liking this? But if it's a normal picture, it's a family picture, or even just a picture of the person and they're just liking it, but sliding into the DMs and saying, what are you saying? I like your picture. You did that by the double tap. Why are you sliding into the DMs? Then I question.
And if she does or he does slide into the DMs, I think the correct thing to do is like, yo, babe, this is the situation at hand.
Why are we sliding into the DMs? Look,
No, not me. I'm saying the
them.
lady. Them
I
sliding
understand.
into the DMs.
Why?
Oh, if a lady
If a
slides
lady
into.
into your DMs.
So what happened?
Oh,
So
yeah.
what
That's
happened?
what I'm
The
saying.
one night we laying in bed.
No,
Somebody
you-
says no. A real.
This is a
story.
real situation.
Somebody sends me a message. And
They made sliding into the DMs a lot easier now, though, bro, with the story replies.
Facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
it is.
So that's also like,
Facts.
I know.
It's like I'm just replying to the
Yeah.
story.
Look, I don't
didn't say
mind the
anything.
reply to the story, but why are you responding?
So here's the thing. So somebody sends me a DM, and I'm laying next to Anka, and I give her a phone. I'm like, look at us. You tell me what's going on here. And she was like, don't reply to this woman. Da, 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 da.
So
I was like,
he was taken
fine.
back.
If you feeling that you uncomfortable, then delete the thing yourself. I mean, I'm giving you my phone.
But here's the thing:
So if you
the
feel it's
uncomfortability
not right-
is not that I'm not secure in you and your character. What happens in a situation like that person sliding into your
Yeah.
DMs, later that person goes and blows it up, and you are like, "How?" But that's not what happened. So it's more protection for your partner, which is why I'm scheming, which is why Matt decided to go to the elders and lay it out so that it doesn't become something that he was not aware of.
But why did he have to go to them if he said, yo, my wife knows I'm chatting to her and her husband knows that we chatting and so forth?
What I'm trying to say is these things have a way where I mean, already there was a third party involved that just decided to blow it up. And you're like, how? Where do you come from? What I'm saying is that people have a tendency to take that information and twist it and add things. And it's like, but that's not what happened. So he's like, let me get ahead of the story. Let me say put everything out on the table what there is so that it doesn't become something it's
But
not.
the problem is he didn't put everything out, and that's part of what Ruslan was also saying. Is like, this is not the time we're living in where you need to be vague about stuff. This is the time where people want to see receipts, bruh. Screenshot that stuff, put it on there, we'll decide. Because that's what our social media is. It's like now the public must decide. There was
I
nothing
get what
really
you're saying,
wrong
but the
with
reality of the matter, I think privacy is still a thing.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Privacy is a
I mean,
thing.
there's a group of people. There's deacons. There's a group of
this.
people
Like, I wouldn't want
where
to
he
put
was
my
exposed.
DMs out there. Why?
My point. Why would you want to expose?
But
it?
now if you
don't
don't want
need
to
to prove
expose it now,
anything
it
to
looks
anyone.
like, oh, what are you hiding? Why don't you want to put it out? Lee, jump in.
Yeah, but exactly what you were saying now, like for me, what bothers me is the double standard that we have, and I get why it could be appropriate for you to say that, but the man of God has to be held to a higher standard,
Authority or
right?
standard, yeah.
And that's what the Bible says. Like, he says that if you want to be an elder of the church, you need to be above reproach, which means that your life must be on the straight and narrow, it must be clean. But one thing that I think the reason why you also did that, apart from what Anka was saying, in order to get ahead of the story, because it's true, you know what social media does. They will tarnish, especially when it comes to, I believe this, that it's especially when it comes to the man of God, the church, Christianity, you know that they're going to blow it out of proportion because the world is not held up to that standard. People can have open relationships and nothing will be like, held
not the
against
same,
them.
yeah.
It's okay. Some guy can be chatting, even if it's of a sexual nature, and even if it is romantic to another woman, but because he's not part of, even if it's just a church member, but he's not a church leader, it's fine. But if the church leader does it, it's wrong. But why is that the case? It's because you must be held above reproach. And this is what the elders said. They called him in, and then they got lawyers involved, right? And then they said, read through scrutinize these texts and tell us what is the outcome. So the lawyer said, look, there's nothing sexual, there's nothing romantic about it, but it does violate your internal social media policies, the church's internal social media policy, social media use policy, which is a good thing, I think, that the church has that. Because it also shows it shows protection and it shows progressiveness. Because we're living in a time where you can't, where social media is a thing. Their leaders are going to be on social media, and it puts their leaders in danger.
Especially if you are A-list pastor that
but
has
not,
such
not just the
notoriety.
leaders, but the reputation of the church.
Yes.
Because we saw what happened to Hillsong as well with the whole, what's his name?
Brian Houston.
No, not him.
Collins.
Collins. We saw that. So that's one person that puts the entire organization
Yes.
in disrepute. So you're like, okay, put those things in place. It will protect not only the organization, but it will protect you as well. And he did get ahead of it by doing that. So for me, I think playing on the double standard there as well. I also just want to add that as much as we say that, how are we not seeing this person as human? Does he not err?
That's
Does he
the
not?
thing.
Does he not make mistakes? Because he's still a human. As much as he's a leader, I'm not condoning
yeah.
it.
Yes.
But I'm saying,
It's
why
just
are we
a
being this
person in the
harsh?
end.
Yeah.
But the whole point of the harshness is from the scripture. I think
Yes.
it's James or Timothy.
Yeah.
It says that the pastor should be above reproach. You shouldn't
Yes.
be caught up with any kind
Yes.
of.
But that is with your
whatever.
fellow believers. Do you get what I'm saying? But if
No,
there's
but
proof
with
with the
with
deacons,
anyone and
that's a
everyone,
lifestyle.
Yeah,
That scripture speaks of lifestyle.
It kind of puts you in a position where, like, now you can't flop. Question: I want to throw.
Yeah.
Go for it, Jay.
Yeah, bro. I think it's important to know when they speak about frequency and so forth. It's important to know also how frequent.
but what are
this
you
has.
saying? Hi, good morning. Why are you greeting someone else's wife in the morning?
Okay, before
Exactly.
we go to frequency, I have one question before we get to frequency, because frequency is an important part also to deal with. The question is, do you think he flopped himself by coming out the way he did? Do you think it made him look guilty? Do you think it made him look like
Of course.
ish?
For me personally, no.
I didn't make him look guilty.
No.
Coming out crying, I feel embarrassed, I feel stupid.
Let me tell you what social
Although
media...
my wife knows about it and hubby knows about
but
it.
let me put it to you this way. The cancel culture and society as a whole has made it it's become so heavy that if they say something, oh no, you're wrong, to the point, remember, your mind is a powerful thing. If you're told enough that you're wrong, you will feel like a flesh very soon.
Yeah.
So I feel like the pressure from social media and all of that put someone in that situation.
Like ish, now I must.
Now I must. So you feel like I'm a heavy, but deep in your heart, you know, ain't like I didn't do anything wrong. But because the pressure's so hectic, you feel like a failure. I personally don't
Do you
think he
think
fleshed himself.
coming out the way he did made him look more guilty?
The way that he came out, I don't think it made him look guilty. He would obviously feel guilty because, like Anka says,
the wording is like,
yeah, but
I'm embarrassed, I feel stupid.
Like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
The thing
Like,
is,
But
I would
the
also
thing is, you
feel.
do feel like
I would also
because
feel
especially if you know,
embarrassed.
ish, I didn't actually do something.
and remember, this
Wrong.
is millions of people that are getting involved,
These
Jack.
people are
Just to
looking
keep
at
the- just
these
to-
people are looking at me with a vibe like I did, because now you feel like these people now think I cheated.
Knowing you,
Yeah,
Xavier.
if you come out the other way, you probably even look
Yeah,
Maybe more
knowing
of a
Xavier,
fool.
knowing Xavier's character. I mean, back in the day when Factory was still running and we were like still in the early days of our relationship, and the girls would come up and they'll completely ignore me, right? And they'll speak to him, but
God says he's the one.
His awkward nature, right? So listen, what I'm trying to get at, can I just finish what I'm trying to get at? So his awkward nature is he'll be staring there. The people will be talking to him and they'll be staring because he wouldn't want to be put in a position where it's like, Zex was talking to this one in that kind of way, right? So for you, my question to you is, if you were placed in a situation like that, but beyond a shadow of a doubt, you didn't engage, what would you do on a public, like, you'll feel like, people are seeing me differently.
Personally, I think I would have avoided coming out altogether.
Because people will see you different.
Because it's gonna now make it look like I did something wrong when I know I didn't do anything wrong. So now it's kind of I'm putting myself in the crossfire now.
But
I'm kind of saying, okay, guys,
as
here I
opposed
am
to-
as a
opposed
target
to-
now. You can take your shots at me.
As opposed to the vast
it's
majority
like-
thinking, why is he not saying anything? Why is he quiet? Maybe he did do something. Maybe he's
No,
hiding
but
so-
you
something.
must
He's
So-
not
so
doing
we
anything
can
because
ask
I
us-
didn't do
can-
anything. I must say something.
So in this situation, can he defend himself? Because again, I said in different marriages, there's different boundaries. For you, you got your boundary and so forth. For some people, it's cool. Maybe it's an old friend or whatever the case may be. Can he come out and defend himself? If no, wifey knows what we're speaking about. Even though it's a hope you're doing well, hope everything is cool and so forth on. We don't know the situation. Was it counseling? Was it not counseling? Can you come out and defend yourself?
Here's my thing. People are going to believe what they want to believe. It's
Yes.
done. It's set in stone. It
Regardless.
doesn't matter what he says. The reason why I applaud him for doing what he did and going to the elders, right, is because if this lady, think about it, it all started with that friend of this woman
The
coming
snitch.
to him and saying, I don't appreciate you, speaking to
Chatting
my
to my
friend.
friend.
And the threat looming over his head that this woman can go public with it. Remember, don't take away that part of the story.
And her interpretation thereof.
Exactly. How was she interpreting? How was this friend making it sound to this lady?
Like
Because we
there's
don't know
something
what
sketchy
this
going on.
lady's
Yeah.
intentions were. We don't know what this woman's intentions were because she's not brought up in the story. It's just that there was this woman, he's chatting to her, it's frequent,
You
it's
don't-
whatever.
You don't know the conversation between the two friends.
Between the two
what
friends.
ensued there.
And maybe this woman developed feelings and this could have, I mean, obviously I'm
Chomi,
reaching.
I'm feeling vibes for the
You
pastor.
see? You
Yes.
see? I'm reaching, but I'm not.
And he
I'm
doesn't
not far
know
off.
she's catching
Yes.
vibes.
I'm reaching, but I'm not far off when I say that this could have even been a plot to destroy him. Remember, he's operating with the conviction of the Holy Spirit. And if the Holy Spirit, I think that if he went firstly to the Holy Spirit and he spoke and he had a meeting with God and God says to him, because
what?
he is a spiritual
Yeah.
man.
Get ahead of this thing.
Get ahead of it. Go to the to your elders. Speak to your elders. It's the right thing to do because at that point in time, he says he felt convicted. So I think based off of his conviction and the steps that he took, I think it was extremely wise.
I think it's the
Also,
cleanest thing he could have
He
done.
could have done. Also, the
It's the
other
most, like,
other aspect that you
smooth
need to
thing he
look
could
at.
have done.
Yes, there was a frequency, but who was the instigator of the frequency? So let's say that they're having this conversation or whatever, and then every day she initiates it. She because she's, let's just say, so the scenario, sketch the scenario as Polyandra, she had feelings. She started developing feelings or whatever. And she'd start in the morning, hi, I hope you're doing well. I hope the family's doing well. What. So now he's put in a position, I don't need to reply out of courtesy. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So now every time she texts, he's just replying. He's not instigating a conversation, but now it creates a frequency. So there's a lot
What
of
if it's
aspects.
like he's at work, like, oh yeah, no, dope. It's
My
those
point.
type of vibes.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not
Yeah.
it's not intentionally, ooh, I've got butterflies or whatever. In terms of him not initiating that conversation.
Yes.
So they're not disclosing that. You don't know that.
So for me-
Is it wrong just because he's a pastor? What if it's not a pastor?
That's what Leandro was
Yeah.
saying.
But for me,
It is the double standard, but again, he went against the church's social
Policy.
media use policy.
But for me, the frequency can be a challenge. And that's when we discussed the show on Friday, I said where I could agree is the frequency issue, because for me the frequency can be a problem. To say that, bruh, if this is not my wife,
yeah.
and it's the other woman, do I have to be speaking to her all the time?
That's the
Because
thing.
that does now
if you're doing
that
it
does bring
daily,
a different dynamic
at
to it.
different
It's like,
times of
"Ish,
the
bruh,
day,
you're chatting to this
like
woman all
almost
the time."
catching up with this person throughout the day. No, that is
That's like
dodge.
girlfriend boyfriend stuff, bro.
But what is the
To
wife
me.
saying? What is the wife's position in the whole situation?
So she actually said here, she posted a picture of, so she's publicly supporting her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And so she obviously took to social media because, I mean, that is where all
Yeah,
of
it's
this
out
started,
there now.
right? So she posts, and she says, she posts a picture of her gazing up at her husband, right, in a photo frame. And she says, this sits on Matt's green room desk. Up the picture of her and him, and she's looking into his beautiful eyes. And then it's been there for years. That look in my eyes, still there after 23 years married and 25 together. Still there today. He's the man. He is the man you hope he is. Thank you to everyone who has sent kind and encouraging messages. Your prayers are treasured and felt. If I could give each of you a hug, I would. So what she's basically saying is, even in that, I think that she herself admits to the fact that my husband did nothing wrong in this. And I want you to know that he's a man of valor and he's a man of integrity. And he's still the man that the vows that I made 23 years ago. He's still that same man and the vows that he made to me. Think about the other scenarios, right? Think about John Gray's wife. Think about Carl Lenz's wife. They could not make public statements like that
It's a
because
complete different scenario.
they were, you see, and the thing is, because this thing has already blown up, because there's so many men of God that has fallen into this trap of adultery, of infidelity. This guy felt that, you know what, I need to get ahead of it because social media
They're just
will
gonna comb me under the
ruin
same
you,
thing, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it will ruin the church.
It will ruin the church. There's a lot of implications that go with that. And remember, this is a family man. He's got to protect his
Now,
family
yes.
as well. The other thing is this lady that confronted him, who says she doesn't have a grudge.
Now, Rietz.
All of that are factors that need to be considered because anything can be misconstrued for this man. So, personally, I really applaud the way he handled it.
For me
So,
personally,
anything that comes out now, he's cool. Like
I'm open.
Bruh,
Like, you can't add anything
for
to
me,
it.
I'm not
Even if
against
they show the DMs.
yeah.
For
Even
me,
if they
bro,
show
I
the
don't think he
DMs.
did. For me personally, my personal point of view, I don't think he did anything wrong per se, bro. I don't think he did anything wrong. So I wouldn't look at him in a negative
Which is-
light.
Yeah,
But-
bro, I
but
understand
based
that,
on
bro.
that-
But coming out like I'm embarrassed, I feel stupid, I feel
It makes him
dumb and
look-
so
I
forth
think
on,
that's
bro.
public
It's
pressure.
like-
I think that's social media pressure. The other thing is this also. I forgot my thought.
So-
Another thing that could have made him feel embarrassed and ashamed is the fact that he didn't see it in an inappropriate manner. But now, looking back in retrospect, based on what people saying, is like, why did I do something like this? Why did I chat to this woman so frequently? Why did I get so familiar with this woman? Maybe that is it, because maybe it's even out of character that he's saying this. Like, actually, it is embarrassing. I mean, Jay, if somebody had to do that to you, if they had to publicly out you like that, right? And I mean, this thing was kept internally. The question again is, who leaked this information?
Yeah.
Because could it have been this woman's friend that went to the news?
No, I think what happened is the elders, he approached the church and said, look here, here's the story, blah, which again is getting ahead of it before somebody uses. But for me personally, ladies and gentlemen, how I personally deal with it, I'm not on the same level as Matt Chandler, but I do have a level of notoriety, and I do speak to a large group of people, and we would be considered a mega church in that context. And for me personally, I stay away from it completely.
Yeah.
Completely.
You'd rather be safe than
Inboxes,
sorry.
whatever else, I stay away from it completely, bruh. I'm a man. I can see this woman is good looking. I'm a human being. I can see the whole things is sticking out and everything is all over. The thirst trap is there waiting to bite me. And I
Yeah.
know
And then you
if I just
innocently-
start one message and she said,
Yeah.
screenshot
whether
out.
it's innocent or not.
Whether it's innocent or not, and what
I'm in trouble.
what you guys must also understand,
I'm in trouble.
we live in a society where Photoshop and all of those
That's
things are
the
a thing.
thing.
So you just saying, the person is saying, hi pastor, I wanted to congratulate you on your sermon, wara.
Pastor, pray for me.
Please
and this
pray
and
for
this.
me. Now you say, thank you so much. Yes, I'll pray for you. Now she
No,
thinks it's a
just
conversation.
thank you. No
but
emojis.
But what I'm saying, no emojis,
No
nothing.
emojis.
Just
Now,
thank you.
now she's replying to that again.
Or TNX.
Yeah. Look, I'm not saying this.
Thanks.
Done.
What I'm trying to say is there is nothing wrong with that response, because he's just responding because he genuinely thinks she's congratulating him and whatever. Now she got a response. Now she's saying something.
Yeah.
Now that
Yeah, those
next
those
response.
footholds.
Yeah, those footholds. now the next response is going, will trap you. Because now maybe he responds to that now as well. Now it becomes, okay, let me just add something via Photoshop here at the bottom.
And I've heard too many horror stories of people sending pastors and even pastors' wives inappropriate messages.
Yes.
It's disgusting.
Yes.
And my thing is also
It's
this
slimy,
that
I
yes,
think,
we
more
keep
stuff.
these leaders, church leaders to a high standard because it's biblical, but also
Human.
Christian loving teaches us that you too have to be kept to a high standard. You can't want to come in, flirt with the man of God or the woman of
While
God
you
or
know he's
whatever.
married.
Yeah, but it's
You
only
also
the
doing
leaders that
more
is kept accountable because you sitting in the pews.
Exactly.
But the problem is, you as the leader, you catch the fire. Jay, let's hop into the comment section there, and then I want to ask the next big question that I wanted to ask just now.
All right, so thank you once again for everyone who tuned in. Really appreciate it. Juan, of course. Moleme. Is that Moleme? I like the emphasis. Cheating. Morning team. Well said, Anks. Danko Anka. I would have done
What he
what
did.
he did. And then Nathan, he comes up and said, on a real, these kind of things are often ignored. Very important topic. Love the hairs aches. And Sheldon
bro.
is picking you up as well. You're
So
on fire.
here's the $1 million question. Can a man and a woman be friends? Especially a good looking woman.
I think they can. There's boundaries though.
Yeah, it also depends on how you define that friendship.
Yeah. I have a friend, but Xavier's fully aware of it. And yes, we have conversations, but Xavier's fully aware of it.
Yeah.
We don't have conversations at 11 a.m. Or 11 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
We don't have conversations whole day. Xavier is his friend as well. So it will be in a passing conversation, listen, we're in Joburg or whatever. It's not and if there is, sometimes, just before he got married, there was instances where he maybe wanted a bit of counseling. Then Xavier will jump in.
Yeah.
It's not my prerogative to jump in.
And he can't come to Joburg and want to have a coffee date.
Just with
you,
me.
Just with
No.
you. Good.
That's
She's
that's
married
no.
now. She's
That's a
married
no.
now.
No, that's again. There's boundaries and so
That's
forth
a no.
on.
Yeah.
For you all, the boundary is obviously
So-
no. But for a lot of people
So-
out there, it's like
So he's a biker. He's a super biker. So what will happen? That becomes a date for me and my husband.
Yeah.
To go watch him because he's on the track for like 2 minutes. But the rest of the day, we there going to eat something, walking around, holding each other's hands. It's a date.
Yeah.
So we came to see my friend, which now has become Xavier's friend as well. But it's not a no. You go get us something to eat there quickly. I just want to sit here.
Sure.
No, it's
Yeah.
like a hell no.
So here's my viewpoint on it, right? There is an element where man and a woman can be platonic friends. However, I do believe that men and women see this thing differently. I do think that men knows when a woman is good looking, right? And a man, if given the opportunity, more often than not, would probably go for it. So if I had to leave Anka unattended and that guy has an intention,
Provided that he has an
he would
intention,
probably
yes.
go for it.
But he,
So that's the thing. I think women think that no, it's just my friend and blah 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 blah. But gents know
because
it's just made it pretty, bruh.
it's a man's nature.
Gents
It's
know,
a man's
bruh.
nature to hunt. It's
Yeah.
his
Gents
innate
know,
nature.
bruh. You know,
really
this
think
woman is
that-
good
you really
looking.
think that about women, bro?
Gents know this woman. Yes, bruh. I can see when a woman is pretty and a woman is.
Well,
good
he's
looking.
trying to highlight the
And-
fact that women will also take the chance.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to
No,
highlight.
I'm saying gents will take the
we
chance.
the only.
No, ladies as well. Ladies will
Okay,
also
from a
accept-
fair
guy's
game.
perspective, I know a
Because-
gent will
but
take a
that's why,
chance.
but
bruh.
that's
Fair
why I
game.
was saying, like,
A gent will
and
take a
I mean,
chance.
you guys spoke on
He's not
about
worried
it
if you
on
learn
Gap.
or not.
I think it was Gapfest, or it was Talk with Joan, where they were saying that it's funny how, especially like with single women, or even just women in marriages, like, you know, these days, they will look at another man and the role that he plays in his marriage
Yes.
with his children, and they'll be attracted to that.
Yes.
And innately, they will, because this is what Jordan B. Peterson says. He says that women are looking, I mean, even if you look at primates, they want the strongest. And I mean, you know, with alpha males, like let's say, for instance, with chimpanzees, right? There's only maybe 2 alpha males or 1 alpha male, and the rest are females. The females will fight each other for the alpha male,
Yeah.
right? Because what they see is protection, they see reproduction.
Stability.
Innately, that is what they see. So psychologically, that is also where it comes
It's
into play.
attractive, yeah.
Because now you see this man, you see what he does, you see him with his family, you see him with his kids, you see him on the pulpit, you see him doing these
Yeah.
things. And what you see is alpha. You see leadership.
You're
You see
attracted to, yeah.
protection. You see provision. That's what you see. So when you start entertaining these thoughts of, oh, this is what I want, the ideal man, whatever.
And the second your husband flops, you're like, why can't you be like,
you're going
Yes.
to start, all
But
your
it's true.
attention is going to, and your energy is going to
Instead-
be directed in that man's
Because it's innate.
direction.
Women do want a strong man. Women do want a man that gives direction. That is just, and it's attractive. It's appealing.
Exactly.
A man that walks in with confidence through that door. I'm telling you, he doesn't need to be physically attractive.
Right.
That becomes attractive to a woman instantly. Just that ooze of confidence becomes sex appeal.
so now, ladies and gentlemen on the chat, what do you say, man? Tell us what you are thinking about this conversation, yeah, so we can also read your input and your side to the story. So the question is, can men and women be platonic friends? And the answer is yes, with a lot of boundaries.
With a hell of a lot of boundaries. I just want to say there that what happened was Xavier had quite a few girlfriends, friends
Female
that
friends.
were female friends. Yeah, they automatically became my friends when we got married, and it was
and
my.
if there's communication, I'd say you
Then
phone
I would take
so-and-so
over
and
most
ask,
of the communication,
Yes.
What time
and
you
they
must
can
be
come
there or
visit.
whatever.
Yes.
They were initially Xavier's friends, but I will question if they are apprehensive towards me. Why don't they want to be my
Exactly.
friend? Because I don't have an issue with you. I'm not intimidated by you either, because you played a part in my husband's life. So then I will question. But they became my friends, and we have good relationships. You can ask Xavier that. So, and that has a lot to do with a woman's maturity.
what
You see, the thing is, before we get into Tapelo's comment there, what really stands out for me is this thing. Because look, we are speaking specifically about. I think we are speaking specifically with these references that we are making for Christian living. Right, and Christian marriages. Yes, we can open it up, but this is specifically for people
For
who are
especially
held in
marriages,
yeah. So discernment is exceptionally key, because the lines can be blurred so quickly. I mean, look at this situation with Matt. The lines was blurred so quickly that's the reason why they said the familiarity. Because what could have started out as just platonic or whatever, not even platonic, maybe just as strangers, acquaintances, slowly but surely became platonic to the sense of friendship. And that was what made it inappropriate. So I think that you must handle that in marriage. Especially if you are Christian and you are held according to the standard of the Bible for what marriage is about, because there's nowhere in the Bible that's gonna say only chat so far with this person or whatever. Like, it will be ridiculous for you to think that and for the Bible to change. But if you've got the Holy Spirit, you've got discernment, and the Holy Spirit will tell you, hey.
And you know that you know.
But that's why he said it was.
Yes,
That's why
you
he
know.
used the word unguarded. So, but again, discernment is key there, because you feel also, and again, intention is key. You
Exactly.
can feel, bro. You can feel like I'm trying to throw shots here. I'm
Yeah.
trying to score some points here.
So
you
the
know?
question is just that platonic conversation. Are we saying that's cheating?
I think frequency can make it.
I think the nature of that
I
conversation.
think
nature of the
and the
con- and the
frequency
intention
can-
of that
can-
conversation.
The intention and the frequency
You
can
see,
cause
intention
it to
is
be
very
on.
difficult to decipher
To gauge,
just
yeah.
just looking at a text, for instance, right? There are certain instances where you can pick up on the intention, but I think that the nature and the language used, because I know that subconsciously you start, especially when you're texting, because it's such a natural thing to do, subconsciously you can pick up on certain intentions even though it's not verbatimly said.
It's possible to have female friends. I've been friends with Tobacco for 6 good years. We met at Rayma home sale. 2 years later, hooked me up with a little sis. And I'm not friends with her hubby. This topic is fire. Lindley goes on to say, part 2 next week.
I think there's so much red tape with that too. The reason why I say that
Gents,
is
I can tell you, guys and girls can't just be
Let me tell
platonic
you,
without
having
boundaries, bro.
really female friends, female guy friends. Yes, you have got some good relationships, but with boundaries. If you guys are talking all the time, or you guys are just here and there saying, "Hey, what's up? What's that kind of thing," but it's not on all the time. I think then you have a good chance. But if you guys are talking every day, if you know I mean, I had a very, very good friend. We went to the States together. We studied together. He became like a brother to me. And no, really, we were very close.
That's
Family zone.
They love that cry on the shoulder. You sitting
Really,
somewhere
I mean,
pushing
we had conversations up until 3:00 in the morning. That type of.
He's a brother
I'm
to
tired.
me.
I'm trying to share a story here.
Hold me,
Anyway.
bro. Hold me, bro.
He
Can we
then
stay like this for a minute?
a couple of months later, he didn't let me know that he was getting married or that he met someone. 3 weeks before he gets married, he lets me know he's getting married. Right? So at this stage, I am basically saying goodbye to him as being my best friend because he was my best friend. And he was so upset as to why. And I told him, you didn't include me in this relationship
Yeah.
when you guys met. First of all. Second of all, she's giving me vibes she don't like me.
Yeah.
Why doesn't she like me? So I can't be his best friend. His wife must be his best friend. That's not my place. So that's my point. And I had to step out of the way. And I did that because that's the way my mind is wired.
Yeah.
You know, our friendship didn't last long after that, but it's not my place. It's, you know, its season has just weathered. So what I'm trying to say is that there were times when I like, hello, how are you? How's the kids? That type of thing. And that was it. When his father died, you know, condolences. Wish I was there with you guys in this time because I knew his family and that kind of thing. But it doesn't go beyond that.
Yeah.
I'm not texting him at 11 or 12 at night. Hey, what you doing? Just thinking
I
about
think
you.
frequency is where Jay, is where the challenge comes. But there was this other podcast I was watching the other day, and they were speaking to this lady, right? And a lot of ladies think now they can just be friends. There's nothing wrong. And then these are ones were telling her, I am telling you. Do you ever? She's like, no, I have a best friend. He's a guy and da la 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 la. So those gents are saying to this chick, right? And she's a good-looking woman. And they're saying to her, if you have to phone this guy now, and you have to ask him.
But that's provocation, though, Zaki. If you're going to provoke any guy, he's going to
what I'm saying, if you phone this guy now and say, can I come over? I'm feeling a little bit, hot and bothered. Is there any way we can do? That one said, if you do that now, I'm willing to bet you money he'll say, come now. She says, no, it's my friend. We've been friends for 3 years and 5 years and whatever else. They say, okay, phone him and put him on loudspeaker. This is on a podcast, right? So she phones him, she puts him on loudspeaker. She's like, hey, how you doing, blah, blah. And he's like, very like, you can hear now, there's no romantic vibes. He's like, hey, good, what's happening? No, I'm just feeling a little bit hot and bothered. Can I come over to your house, bro? He's like, alright, okay, let me just hop in the shower quick, and then you can come through. How long will you take? Then she drops the call, bro. Those gents are like, we told you. Because it's like,
But that's
especially
unfair,
if it's
though.
a good-looking woman, gents are gonna obviously say,
But
all
that's-
right, what time are you
But
coming?
that's unfair because remember, guys are visually and physically attracted to someone. So if you're going to give him an opportunity like that, I don't think a guy's going to refuse that. That's provocation. So you're provoking that. Oh,
I don't think it's unfair. It's proving a point of natural selection and how humans are wired.
Yeah.
And
That's
how
the point.
male and female
She's
are
saying,
wired.
no, we're friends. We've been friends for this.
It was a
I
test.
never look at him like that. He's like a brother to me.
So-
But phone now.
Yeah.
Come now.
Yeah.
So I just want to say
That
that
just shows you just debunked your whole.
the notion that we're not saying, and I don't know if I'm speaking for all of you, but I'm not saying that you can't be friends with a guy or, the opposite. I'm not saying you can't be. However, when you do engage in a friendship like that, especially when you're married, know that you are opening yourself up for things, especially if you don't know how to set boundaries or which boundaries to set. You are opening yourself up for a situation you wouldn't.
I think this
wanna
kind
be.
of this culture, especially now with the influx of the frequency of social media hookups and stuff like that, this culture has basically trained people on how to engage with each other, which leads to that sexual nature. Because what happens is, even like with young girls, right? They flirt with the idea because they know exactly their power. You can't tell me, like, especially when you hit puberty, you know.
Women are innately manipulative.
I'm talking
So-
about the, like, pubescent age, right? The minute you hit puberty, you know exactly, especially as a woman, and you can't want to come and tell me that it's not, even if you're socially awkward, you know how to manipulate a man.
We are
Because you know that
manipulative
men,
beings.
exactly.
Innately.
So what you
Especially
do
if you're a
is,
good-looking woman.
so it starts
No, you don't
there.
need to be. You can just be a woman.
No, really, even just
be a
be a
woman.
woman.
I think you got
It
more
starts
brownie
there.
points if you're
Obviously,
pretty,
you've
bro.
got more brownie points, but
Pretty, you can
it's
do
a
it.
natural thing, right? And boys are hitting puberty at that stage, and because of the frequency of social media and the use of social media and how unguarded and borderless and boundaryless it is, it starts there where people see, and it obviously becomes now natural to them to know what it is to flirt with somebody, so much so that people don't even care. They don't even hold marriages to high regard anymore, where young girls can be chatting to older men and be okay with it, where even just young men can be chatting to older married women because they know how to manipulate.
Right.
And I think that is the issue. I mean, when I was growing up, right, my parents were extremely strict to say to me, this is the kind of behavior. And I know you can say it's old school and you can say it's part of the patriarchy. It's fine. As long as I know that I'm saving marriages and I'm saving myself the embarrassment of this thing happening.
It's protection for you.
Exactly. Where my parents would say to me, even family members, say for instance, you want to invite a family member over. My mother would say, you ask the wife, don't ask the husband. Why are you asking the husband? She's the woman of the house and you are a woman. Ask the wife. Things like that. It's small things. It seems insignificant, but in the long run, if you look at it, it safeguards you from crossing that
For
boundary.
me, that's just protocol.
I just want, yeah, bro. There's a bunch of comments coming through now.
You good?
That's fine. You can go.
Okay. Clayton, you and God know the intention. I'll be nice because I find her attractive and I want more. Guys and girls are wired to want even that we convince ourselves is innocent. And then Nikki goes on to say, men and women can be friends when both parties respect each other and their partners and know what boundaries there are. Juan, without boundaries, discernment, I don't think men and women should be friends. I agree with Xavier on his point he made earlier, because sometimes I also avoid certain friendships and conversations. Clayton, it's just the dynamics that says yes or no to the friendship.
I think the ultimate takeaway here is it technically can happen, but there's a lot of boundaries that needs to be in place, and then the intention makes a big difference. If you looking with that intention that I want to do something here, you can, and then don't take out of the equation also self-control, bro. There's a reason that self-control is a thing.
Yep.
Self-control is a massive thing.
Yeah, it's actually the major thing.
Self-control can get you into trouble if you don't pay attention to self-control.
I just want to say that most scenarios where cheating took place, where it's progressed to like a physical nature, didn't just happen. Like it didn't just, the person came in and then it just happened.
Yeah.
It was like a frog in hot water. So you put the frog in lukewarm water and you heat it up and you heat it up, and when he says, the water's hot, it's too late. Right? As opposed to putting that frog into hot water and it jumps out. That's what generally happens in a cheating situation. There was platonic conversations and, we were just chatting and whatnot, and, and then it became a thing of, they understand me, just when I'm feeling down or whatever, they'll send me a message, and it progressively gets to a point where it becomes where you catch feelings. It doesn't happen overnight. So all I'm saying is that when it comes to a married relationship, Xavier is supposed to be my friend. He's supposed to be my go-to. He's supposed to be the person that I feel like, I'm feeling down today. He must lift me up. No, but he doesn't understand me. He's not a physical or affection type of guy. Then go to counseling. See what you can do, because this is the man you decided to get married to. So find
now,
those type
if you're
of
searching
things.
for that in someone else.
And the reality is, when you are two entities getting married, you're not going to find the perfect person. And the challenge with us as women is we love, I'm a love fanatic in terms of romantic movies. The reality of the matter is the real relationship isn't like that in a fantasy movie.
Yeah.
So now you're sitting like, why can't Xavier do this to me? Why can't he hold me like this? Why can't he? No,
You think this is a movie?
this is not a movie. This is reality. And that's how cheating is. Now you find someone at work and this person just knows what to say because he's watched a lot of other movies. He's, now he speaks to that part of you, and now it's like, you know what? Why didn't I meet you before I met my husband? It progressively becomes there.
And when you start entertaining that thought,
Yes.
And here's the other thing. There's different cheating is not cheating when it's physical.
No.
And this is where a lot of people get this thing wrong. I didn't do anything. We didn't even kiss. Yeah, but bruh.
The Bible says when you even look at a woman or a man lustfully,
If
you have
were
committed adultery in your
entertaining
heart.
having on a message,
So because God knows that if it's in your heart, it's just a matter of time before it becomes physical.
here's the thing for me.
Yeah,
But here's the thing for me. That for me is a hell of a lot worse.
Emotional cheating.
And emotional cheating for me is
Yeah.
worse. Let me tell you why. It creates a fantasy in your mind, in that person's mind,
Yeah.
that can never be lived up to. Me as a wife that's there every day can't live up to that fantasy.
Yes.
So that for me is just no.
Because look what happens in
No.
emotional cheating. Now. So now, let's say you are married and you're chatting to someone. But I remember you seeing this person on their good days. You seeing them when their hair's done, when their makeup's done, when they smell
Tannis
nice, when they're looking nice, when they're dressed up. Because you probably seeing them wherever you're seeing them. At
At
church,
work.
at work, or wherever else. So they're
It's the
obviously
20%.
dressed up. Yeah. So you're seeing exactly the 80-20 rule. So now you're seeing this person on their good days, right? And so now that fantasy that you build in your
Sometimes
mind.
it's even 90-10. That
Yeah.
10% is
Yeah.
so weak.
This fantasy that you
Just
have
your looks.
in your mind about this person is of such that, yes, she does this for me, she does that for me. When I ask her to do this, she does it. But, bruh, that's because you spend an hour with her in the
No
day or
way.
2 hours wherever you see each other. So obviously she's putting her best foot forward. Now you're going to your wife at home where you see now the swirl goes, where you see her
Yeah,
coming
you throw
out,
the
of
running
the,
swirl goes,
out
yeah.
of the bath, where you see her, in all her glories, where you see her in her weak moments, you see her in her,
Yeah.
they had a serious conversation on Friday about sanitary issues and all of this kind of
Periods
things.
and contraceptives.
Periods and
Thank
all
you,
this
Leandra.
goodness. Now you're seeing all
Okay,
these
you can
things,
say
bruh. Now you thinking, yeah, this woman is most more sag.
When that's just in a natural habitat, like
That
that's what she is.
10% of yours that you thinking is so
probably worse.
amazing in your mind because the
Probably
parts that
stinks
you
down
see is
there.
the nice parts. The parts that you see are the good parts.
But you wouldn't
now-
know that.
Now, when you actually say, and a lot of people have made this mistake.
Sitting
Then-
watching a movie.
yeah, bro.
Yarri, baby.
Just see no
Semen. I get one.
So here's the thing, bro. Now the
Why
parts
was the
that you
conversation
see
always
there,
into a
ne,
part?
the parts that you see there
As
is
if they don't fuck.
is 10%. And so now you leave, and a lot of people have made this mistake. You leave your wife, and then you go for that thing. Now you get married, or you don't even get married. You go and live with her. Now you see, hey, that's one also my leave the things on the floor. Hey, that's one she start when she take over lashes, she take over hair, the wig and the weave and
Got
things. You also
some
like, hey, at least my wife had real hair, man. Yeah, now it's now a weave situation here, and now it's like, hey, maybe I wasn't so. And now you've built customs with your wife, you've built traditions that you'll do, you built a certain structure that you have, and now you're with somebody else, but you went for the 10% or the 20%, and now you have to rebuild
And you find
with
that-
this fantasy that looked like a fantasy, but in reality,
And you find that
it's not so quiet.
in the humdrum of everyday life, wifing is difficult. Mothering is difficult. You know, all of that stuff is difficult. So now you find that your wife did the washing. She did the cooking. Cooking was so lekker, but she did the cooking. Or she would make an effort to go out to Woolies and get whatever, right? Now you come home, this woman is just busy with her nails. The new woman is just busy with her nails. It's just her. You didn't buy
And
me
she still
something.
says, no, I don't cook.
I
I
don't
don't
cook.
cook. I don't clean Cardi B, and that's not why.
Yeah, and that's not quite
And in
because
the
that's the
meantime,
trend.
Cardi B is actually doing those things. She got married properly with a kid and everything.
And that raises another issue when it comes to pop culture, right? And that is what people see, and that is what they try to perpetuate in their relationships. It's again that thing of watching a movie. It's
Yeah.
the same thing with pop culture. Even watching social media is like watching a movie because
Yeah.
now you see
Oh, dank
the
jy. Jy is
highlight
Kim
reel.
Kardashian. Jy is nou nie Kim Kardashian.
Exactly. Now
Yeah.
you see the highlight
Highlight
reel,
reel.
but you don't see what those people are like when they are not on
Exactly.
Instagram, when they are not on
The
YouTube
journey
and
to
stuff
the
like
highlight
that.
reel, because remember there must be hair done, there must be a lot of things done, and although to get that space in that reel, you must score mark, so you must move the clutter out of the way.
And the
There's a
thing is,
journey
seeing that we
towards
always
that-
use the
that
proverbial
reel.
Kim Kardashian, right? Look at Kim Kardashian. I mean, yeah, Now she's what is this, her third marriage, right? It's her third marriage. She's divorced from Kanye. Yeah, I'm not saying
You keeping count?
that Kanye was not without fault. Obviously, we
There's
see
always
it's
two sides
public,
to a story.
right?
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that he's without fault, but now immediately after that, she makes it public on this new Kardashian show, and she says that with Pete Davis, it was a challenge for her, and she was in need of sexual arousal because she was in a drought period, and that's the reason why she pursued Pete, because he wasn't giving her the light of day, and this was now like a challenge for her, and she was sexually
Attracted.
frustrated. She was sexually frustrated, so she sent him a message first. She made the first move. He went and
As
he
a
went to
married
go
woman?
and allegedly, no, not as a married woman. This was now after the
Okay.
divorce,
While they were
right?
busy fighting.
And now they were together for a couple of months. He allegedly got her kids' initials tattooed on his neck or wherever part of his body. Now they've broken up, and now it's on to the next one. So you look at that, you see beautiful Kim Kardashian, you see this
how life is now, must it be?
what, and then you think that is quiet,
Yeah.
but actually behind the scenes, this is but the thing is, this is what we said, what you just mentioned now when I said Cardi B says, I don't cook, I don't clean, right? But I still got this ring because of WAP. That's not really Cardi B, because even within her marriage, she's got issues. She's got infidelity issues. She's got adultery issues. She's mothering. She's wifing. Even those people, they are still human. What society tries to teach us is that, no, there should be no boundaries, except if you are a Christian or you are a leader.
Yeah, but
That
then
is
they
what do.
run into a lot of issues. I want to jump into the comments real quick. Jay Paris from Clayton or from Sheldon.
Or from Nikki.
From the top there? No,
Yeah, it's just Xavier. Yeah.
we already read that.
It's from Sheldon.
Self-control and boundaries. Even if you catch feelings, you don't have to act on it. Nikki, you need to be very careful for emotional attachments. When you become too comfortable with chats or lunches and so forth that's a dangerous game you're starting to play.
Yep.
Juan, every time I want to comment, Xavier says what I was thinking. I know that one. Fabio Khan, this conversation. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it, guys.
So here's the
Keep
thing.
it rolling.
The long and short of it, the way that God intended for it to be is the original way.
Yep.
Right? It's the original way.
Yeah.
You can come here with your webs
And you can
your
come and say that the Bible
social
needs to be
medias,
progressive.
and you can come here with your progressive, and you can come here with your feminist movements and all that things. You're gonna end up in a divorce court,
Yeah.
and you're gonna cry with your head in your hands. The way God made it is the original way. Just do the thing the right way. Don't try
Yeah, bro,
to
these schemes and stuff
undo
are
those things, bruh.
depressed.
They depressed. They're catching on funny things. The children are now growing up in a divorce. But I don't care how much money you have.
Yeah.
It's still the same like a child living wherever where the father goes to buy soap. It's the same thing. Whether you Kim Kardashian or whether you Maria there living in someone's backyard. It's the same thing. The only difference is she has money, she has publicity, and you see her, and you are just a normal person that might just living your everyday life, not with that kind of celebrity and fame and money and whatever. But the point of the matter is it's the same thing. And so what are we saying? Do it the way that God always intended for it to be. Stay away from these things, like what Nikki was saying here about when you start becoming familiar, and that's the issue with the Chandler thing. It was familiarity was the issue. When we now starting to chat and blah blah blah, it just takes one here in the middle of the night, 11 o'clock. Are you sleeping? No, I'm also up. I can't sleep. Blah, blah, blah. And now why are you having chats in the middle of the night?
Exactly.
Now it's becoming inappropriate conversation. Now you see. So for me, my personal take is do it the way God intended for it to be. And my personal thing as a public figure and as someone that uses this platform all the time, I stay away from those conversations. If something pops up, I give it to Anka. I say, look here, what do you think about this? I don't get involved in that conversations because it just takes one screenshot. You just screenshot like this.
I mean, I remember when we were
And
even
then
in
we're in trouble.
factory days, right? Even before, like, you met Anka and there was a girl that wanted to speak to you, you'd always call me in and say, listen, Lee, there's a girl that needs counseling or whatever, or she's crying or whatever. And you'd never want to be alone with, because you understand how things can be taken out of, and you need to take that kind of measures.
Not only that,
even
bruh.
if it seems that drastic, you need to do
No,
it.
it's not drastic. If what happens, Maji, we go, let's say, and Leandra is correct. Girls used to come to me at factory because remember, it's a big organization, bruh. I'm the head of this thing. People are seeing me. They attracted to this, like Anka said, the confidence and whatever
anointing.
else. So now they come. And so now they're like, hey, Pastor, can you pray for me? This and this and this. I say, Leandra, come here quickly. Please, can you just stand with me here? Let's pray for this. Because now I go, because remember there was that back room section there, right? Let's say I go into that back room, bro. And I like pray or whatever. Ne? And so 2-3 people maybe come in, they come in to fetch something, they open the door. Sorry, I see those people are praying. This girl goes, same night, and says, Pastor Xavier abused me, he touched me inappropriately.
There's nothing you can do to protect yourself.
Myself, bro?
Nothing you can do.
How?
Exactly.
What am I going to say? And then she can say, even so-and-so came in and they saw. And now they go to you. Brad, did you see? Yeah, I did go. I went to go look for a cable there back and I saw Zeke was praying. Now it makes me look guilty, bro.
Yeah.
Even though I know I didn't do anything. I started Joseph. I know I didn't do anything, but now it makes me look. That's why when we do counseling at church, we have glass doors.
Yeah.
So that whoever walks past can see
Yes.
who's in there
Yeah.
and what's going on. Because for
You
that
have to
exact
take
reason,
that kind
bro.
of measures.
Someone can come and say, you touched me inappropriately, you tried to molest me, you tried to this and this. Then what?
Yep.
How are you going to defend yourself?
There's a lot of stuff that can get you into a lot of trouble, which is why it's important to put a lot of boundaries in place. So if you're going to go down that road of that, I mean, I do have a lot of friends, but if they're not friends with Xavier and Xavier doesn't know what's going on, then it is questionable, because we are at the stage where if Xavier's phone is off and he needs to go somewhere, he'll take my phone and his phone will be charging.
Or
and
if
then
I
can-
say I'm with Jay,
Yeah.
Anka knows.
Yeah.
She phone Jay.
Yeah.
I
phone
still
tray.
with Jay.
But the point
Yeah.
I'm trying to make is that even the contents that's on your phone, if you are a little bit sketchy about letting other people, especially your wife, because remember your wife should even have the passwords to your banking app and stuff like that. That's the relationship you guys should be striving towards. Then and you're not even comfortable to just leave your phone for that pop-up message that comes,
You push that one, you turn the phone upside down.
But you don't even need to do that anymore because WhatsApp and even Telegram has made it so easy now with disappearing
can remove a
messages.
message, yeah.
Or if the person logs on and goes into the message, then only the message comes through. Those are just breeding
But do you
grounds
know where
for
the
cheating.
danger is? Do you know what screenshot is?
You know, yeah.
Screenshot will
That
get you into
person,
trouble,
it
bro.
can just take a screen. And we live in a time where screenshots is a thing, guys. Like there's
Receipts.
cameras everywhere.
You know what a
So-
screenshot is, bro? It will get you into trouble
Receipts.
now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a good one. Thank you for everyone jumping in. You like things, ne? If we'll talk about something else, then it's quiet there in the comments. But when we talk about those things, it's cut there in the comments and it's cut on the viewership. But you know what? We these are conversations we must have. Because these are things that getting the guys into trouble and it's getting women into trouble, and we need to have these conversations, especially church folk. We're getting into unnecessary trouble with this nonsense. So, but be that as it may, it was a dope conversation. Thank you to everyone that hopped on the conversation. So yeah, closing remarks from everyone. Then we got to call it a day.
Start with Leandra.
Okay. So I'm going to read something from the book that Xavier and I are both reading. Well, I'm reading and he's listening to it.
I'm listening.
If I can,
So
he reads.
it's 12 Rules of Life by Jordan B. Peterson, and by now you should know that we are quite big fans of it.
Yeah.
And in before the first chapter, he speaks about there's a passage, and I'm just going to read it for you. He speaks about morality and rules, and that there's a need for rules in life, and humans want rules actually, even though they say that they want to be free and stuff like that. So he says, like Aristotle, instead of despairing about these differences in moral codes, Aristotle argued that those specific rules, laws, and customs differed from place to place. What does not differ is that in all places, human beings, by their nature, have a proclivity to make rules, laws, and customs. To put this in modern terms, it seems that all human beings are, by some kind of biological endowment, so ineradicably concerned with morality that we create a structure of laws and rules wherever we are. The idea that human life can be free of moral concerns is a fantasy. So for those progressive, free, liberal people that say that they don't want rules, and again to what Xavier said earlier, alluding to the Bible, saying that the Bible must be progressive, you are going to come back to that point. And the reason why the Bible is still so relevant up until this day and age is
Because
because
no matter
it's
where
the
you go,
it's the loving word.
back on it.
Loving word means that it's ever present. It's forever relevant to any time, any place, any person. It's the living word, and that is my closing remark.
and just to add on to that, show me any celebrity that went to go and live how they wanted to, and didn't end up coming back to Judeo-Christian moral standards.
Yep.
Anyone. And if they be honest with themselves, it didn't cause damage just going to do what they want to without morality.
Yep.
And you'll be hard pressed to find them.
I would just say when it comes to marriage, you should want to protect it at all costs, regardless. And a lot of the times we sit back, but how I didn't do anything, it was them, they did it, which means that you should live in a space where you don't put yourself in a position where someone else can do something or twist that. And I know it's difficult at times, but don't speak to that person. If your husband doesn't agree with it or your wife doesn't agree with it, don't speak. And if you're not able to share that information with them, then you should know, there's red flags. If you can't be as open and transparent as possible with your husband, and also, go for counseling then. If you feel like you can't speak to your husband, go for counseling. I mean, church counseling is free. Go for that. See how you guys can remedy it, and know that each one is a work in progress. So no one's going to be perfect. So put your marriage above all if you're married.
Yeah. Don't give the enemy a foothold. Don't give them. I mean, if Satan tempted Jesus, he can run you over.
He attempted to tempt Jesus.
Attempted to tempt Jesus. He can run you over. Don't think, I got it all together. It's just a text. Nothing's gonna happen. Don't give Satan. Don't give Satan a foothold.
Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Please, if you have not yet subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button. We are now on 2,070 subscribers. We are past the 2,000 mark, which is dope. And
we on 2.5 million.
Like.
Nice. That would be nice. Please do like the video. And then also share.
What picture?
If there's
Like the picture.
See, we were talking about liking
Do
pictures.
you know where the danger is?
Please do share this video if there's somebody that you think needs to hear what we are speaking about. But thank you for everyone jumped in the comment section. It's always an honor, and it's always dope to see the engagement and the interaction. It at least makes us feel like you are there with us. So thank you so much. See you on the next one. Love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins, and bless up to the world.
And then Tay just put your info on blast like that.
It's what the people want to know, bro. My bad.
Nah, bro.